I paint you, devil. I paint you upon a covetous mirror at a festival dense with limit and obstreperous percussion. I paint one eye brown and one eye red. I had helped to build that church, but I would not worship there. Not till, not till, not till. But I had laid the foundation in corners. I had cut the razor glass that grew behind the altar. I had swept the morning room. I had mixed mortar and ground doctrine with my teeth. I had worked like an itinerant laborer who sleeps in a field and hustles by day around suburban neighborhoods, collecting bottles or doing bulwark. So ease me steady on the plow with rum, not till, not till, not till the mother of the church passes on to higher numbers. Then I will play the spiritual game. I will fall over precipices and river falls. I must have uttered some sound. I must have stood high in the cane, or as realm and unctuous grinning in my canoe, because someone saw me and called me by my true name, and I ran to the house, which was still a dream, as was the dream of grey metropolitan stone in Independence Square, its vacuous cathedral with delphiniums and yellow alamander in the pews, Legion Hall, white gleam as some postcard image, 1971. Where carnival passing, where the wharf was the edge of the world. And in those days you could walk right up to the brim and see the sea undulating below and rolling violently like a lion pacing a cage. These images all resemble the muted reds and greens of costumes and old photographs of stockinged masqueraders in George Bailey's Bright Africa, 1969. Or in those first post-colonial junctions where the new nation was still policed by policemen in short pants. Never mind the scene sharp, this way traffic go, this way that. It was an innocent time in a dream of island nations. And in those days I was young and irascible, a scamp. Even as I played sailor mass and threw talcum powder, I schemed and kicked up dust and was seen dancing in the savannah while bushfires raged in the hills above. And the sun whipped the galvanized in those medullas of bone, blinking high up in the hills that feed and nourish the city with vibration. I brewed easy evil in straitjacket mornings after staggering in muddy culverts drunk on joy juice. I had made my midnight rubber costume that year, with silver lapels and crimson epaulets, the long cape emblazoned with vivas and maps of stars and Jumbie skull and bone. My trousers were hewn from Hessian sax, my boots from hirsute leather. I wore the 4-foot sombrero. I ate the propolis. I wore my silice and rolled my dice. I stood naked in my grandmother's house on Ash Wednesday afternoon and masturbated in the heat of my old bedroom. And then I went looking for the Christophine boy, the sheriff with the toy gun, the tin badge, the boy I had last seen posing in those quiet colors of 110 film in khaki pants with one leg out, dancing in his room. I had left him behind so many years before, and each time I almost clutched his outer garments. He was now a bachelor who rented a narrow tungsten apartment on the Eastern Main Road and still worked in insurance. Straight up and down, striped shirt and tie, bony as a whip, he smoked hard weed out his kitchen window at night and still dreamed of leaving the island. He had even stitched himself new shoes. He would not return. He would wear the camera around the neck as camouflage as he strolled into JFK for the theme of New Time Shuffle. But he was not there in his apartment. He was not there in the discotheque. That was not him at the morgue. That night I slipped through a fissure to pass my hand along the parabolic thighs of illicit curves, to glimpse the ankles twisted in supplication, to imagine the suffering unto death, the shin bone breaking into nebulous shards, the agonies which suffering was weighting down the numbers, consumption, complication, liver and blindness, cancer, diabetes, cataract, waiting like words to attach themselves to meaning. In those days, I would walk up the saddle road, miles in the burning day, to buy ganja by a green river where children were playing. Blood run among the sandbox root and the bamboo where I dipped my feet in the hardness of the world and peeped the willow trees. To fling stones from the hilltop down, to crack some boy's skull. By then I had counted each breath and kept my mind in hell.